If you want an all-around smartphone that performs well, has an okay camera, and doesn't burn a gaping hole in your wallet, the Oppo Reno8 Pro has got your back. Now, some people may like it, others not so. The Reno8 Pro features a unibody design which curves around the camera section along with flat edges on its sides. It is very reminiscent of the Oppo Find X5 Pro's design in the way it elevates smoothly to the cameras, except in the Reno8 Pro, the bump is way bigger. Not only that, the flat edges and screen do make the phone look more like a budget option, but rest assured, the glass front and back and aluminum frame will say otherwise. Build-wise, it's a solid piece. Under the front glass, the Reno8 Pro is fitted with a 6.7-inch Full HD AMOLED display supporting HDR10+ and 120Hz refresh rate. Being an AMOLED panel means that colors are punchy with deep contrast and good viewing angles. While the panel isn't the brightest by any means, it is sufficient when used out in broad daylight, so no worries there. The refresh rate also quite intelligently switches between 60 and 120Hz to save on that battery life. The flat display is a hit or miss for some people, but one thing good about it is that good old 16:9 content will not be curved off at the top and bottom, so there's that. The phone also has a pair of stereo front and side firing speakers. Not bad, but not good either. It does sound a little bit hollow with a slight emphasis on the lower frequency, but hey, if it bothers you, Bluetooth 5.3 is supported. The Reno8 Pro is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 8100 Max, which is either the lower tier of the flagship SoCs or the higher tier of the mid-range SoCs, depending on how you'd like to view it. On paper, the numbers are much closer to the likes of Google's Tensor, while just being shy of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, which is what you can find in its bigger brother, the Find X5 Pro. This does make the Reno8 Pro a much more desirable option at this point in time, as it's priced much more affordably, which we'll get to in a bit. At the time of testing, ColorOS 12.1 was okay. The experience was buttery smooth with little hiccups along the way, even with multiple apps opened. It's built on the currently available features of Android 12 while adding some of its own flair along with it. Once this review is up though, ColorOS 13 should be available globally for Reno8 Pro units, bringing about the Android 13 experience. The Reno8 Pro also supports face and fingerprint unlock. While we have no issues with face recognition whatsoever, the fingerprint scanner is placed at a very oddly low position, which is uncomfortable to reach when holding the phone normally. In terms of gaming, the Dimensity 8100 Max also produced pretty average numbers for 3D Mark tests. Similarly, it's very close to the Google Tensor, but as mentioned in our previous Pixel 7 review, lower or average numbers don't necessarily mean that the gaming experience is worse off. The Reno8 Pro can hold its own in extended sessions of Diablo at 60 frames per second, and like all other phones, will run warm to the touch after a while. However, compared to the Z Flip 4 or the X80 Pro, the phone does seem to dissipate and manage the thermals in a way that's much less noticeable while holding it. Pretty neat! Its camera setup consists of a 50MP f1.8 main, an 8MP f2.2 ultra-wide, a 2MP f2.4 macro, and a 32MP f2.4 front. The images coming off the cameras are all produced with the help of the same Silicon X NPU found in the Find X5 Pro. In that sense, color reproduction is very similarly handled with a rich and contrasty tone. When it comes to human subjects, it does seem to hold back a little on the skin tone as they do look slightly paler compared to the naked eye. Ultra-wide and macro are also there if you need them, but the heavy processing leaves much to be desired. The cameras are capable of shooting up to 4K at 30 frames per second with gyro EIS. Video quality is average at best, and the same can be said of the front camera. In summary, as much as possible, try to stick to the main rear camera and you'll be fine, as the lack of saturation in skin tone can always be fixed with a bit of editing. On the battery front, the Reno8 Pro's 4500mAh battery will get you through the day with a mixture of social media browsing, communications, and content consumption with a bit of gaming thrown in. Wireless charging isn't available for this phone, but with the included 80-watt Super VOOC charger, you can get your Reno 8 Pro charged up to almost full in about 30 minutes or so. The Oppo Reno 8 Pro is available in green or black and comes at 1,099 Singapore dollars or 3,499 ringgit. It is only available in 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage configurations. And what else can we say? With that price, it is an overall package if you're looking for a slightly more affordable option to a flagship phone. Heck, at this point in time, it even seems like a much better buy than the Oppo Find X5 Pro with similar performance and imaging capabilities. The only thing to improve, however, is that extremely low fingerprint sensor. Oppo, please.